Welcome to another episode of That's Right with Chris Voss. And Chris couldn't be here today, so I'm here instead. I'm Chris Voss. Gwen Medved, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
There,
oh
get
my
the thumb.
God,
There we go.
It's like a really sweaty hand. Okay.
Fist bump.
All right.
Is it a ridiculous idea for you to share with our viewers a little bit about your business and your journey?
Chris, it is not a ridiculous idea. My business and my journey are at a crossroads. So I'm at a very pivotal and transitional point in my life right now.
All right.
I am an author, a producer, an entrepreneur, a mother, and a newly divorced woman.
There are 4 or 5 crossroads there. So what's your business?
Well, first and foremost, my business has always been to be a full-time mother.
Okay.
I played a very supportive role in a media business that I helped build up. After raising my daughters, I moved into producing documentaries with Abundance. And that is also a film agency that produced your documentary, Tactical Empathy, which is one of the reasons I'm very happy to be sitting here with you today.
That's some good stuff. So your clients, who are your clients and what challenges do they face?
My clients would be my readers. And right now I am writing a book, the most personal and practical contribution I've made to date other than being a mother. And it's a book about divorce. One of the areas and aspects that I will be highlighting is the profound benefits of using tactical empathy in negotiations and mediations. I went through a 3-year divorce process. I had 2 separate mediation settlements. I had a lot of attorneys. And about 1.5 years into it, I realized that I needed some help in the mediation room that I wasn't getting.
From the attorney.
That's right. I don't know if I got spammed based on Google searching, but the Harvard online course in negotiations came up. So I signed up for it and did a little self-study.
Yes.
And you were one of the guest lecturers on that.
I apologize.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that women, I don't think, understand or have access to when they head into high net worth divorces. There are a lot of situations that we go into, I think anyone in divorce, which again, tactical empathy really helped me understand I'm not the only one getting divorced, helped me understand and do a little self-talk about why it was important to understand and let the other side understand why they were heard and recognized. And that was pretty much the crux of when things changed for me. And I realized a seemingly unsettleable divorce would be settled.
So it got you to conclusion. It helped you get to the conclusion when the conclusion was escaping you prior to that.
You know, there's that saying, do you want to be right? Or what is the saying? Do you want to be right or do you want to win? Or do you want to be right or do you want to be done?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. I was in such a high cortisol survival mode, really fighting, and thinking that I was defending a position and defending, my children and my family. And I realized, again, tactical empathy for me was talking to myself and kind of labeling how I felt to get me out of fight or flight.
Yes.
And almost unemotionally able to talk to myself out of fear and that fight or flight. And at the same time, be able to see the position of really my husband, who I was divorcing, and his attorneys and the other side of things. And when that happened for me, I no longer needed to stand my ground in a way that I had, and I was very open to compromise. And that really changed everything.
So, yeah, understanding how you apply to empathy to other people actually became a form of self-care for yourself.
100%, 100%, which allowed me then to functionally and actionably succeed in the goal that I had in having a fair and equitable divorce and becoming divorced.
Seeing the other side's perspective freed you.
Yeah. And so this book that I'm working on and is, again, the most practical and the most personal piece of work that I've had. I'm doing it for my daughters. I'm doing it for other women. I'm doing it to be the resource I wish that I had had 3 years ago when I entered into the divorce process, which is so much more than anyone really realizes, especially when you are working and negotiating and mediating, high net worth and a lot of assets. Fortunately for me, my children were already adults, so I didn't have to negotiate child custody, which is another really difficult thing.
Right.
I've always understood the importance of empathy. However, I did not understand the value of your definition that I heard, and I know I'm not going to get it right, so please help me.
Take a crack at it. Go ahead.
Okay. That empathy is letting the other side know that you understand, that you hear them and you understand their position. It doesn't necessarily by any means mean that you have to agree with their position, just that they know and that you can convey that and communicate to them that you understand where they're coming from. That was very, very, very pivotal in my success. And
so if I made the application of that so people really understand, would be effectively, all right, before I disagree, here's what I think your position is. And then you summarize what they've said. Effectively. You may not have said it exactly like that, but the important part is you're not saying you agree.
Right.
But the only way they're going to know that you understand them is to say out loud what you believe your understanding to be.
And that there is an authentic, truthful, authentic interest that I have a desire to understand correctly, and that I do see, and they have not, like in a divorce scenario, that the other party has not become this non-person, force to be reckoned with. It's to again connect as a human being, which I think it's hard to feel connected to someone, anyone.
When you're trying to disconnect.
Right. And also that survival thing, right? The calling someone by name, when you were giving the tips, like talk, that's right. And so, one of the things people do in divorce is they'll start calling someone their ex to dehumanize and to create distance from the relationship. And I found myself about halfway through it realizing I had to look at the whole person, not come at this as an emotional situation, but look at the whole person. If I was going to get anything accomplished, and I had to really think about the person I was dealing with. And the person I was dealing with got a lot of business done over a martini and a steak. And so one night I said, let's go have a martini. Let's go have a martini steak. And I said, I understand this has been really hard for you too. And, we're at a standstill here. What do you want? And that was the first time. What do you really want? What do you want? What do you want so that we can get this done? Like,
and you meant it when you said it.
I did mean it because, but up until that point, I'd been like, this is what I want. And, and I have to, it's like war, we're going to duke it out about all these things. And I've got to protect this and that and the other thing. And we're in opposition now. But having a martini and a steak and saying, showing up in that way, that was the opportunity I had to say, what do you really want?
Right.
And you know what? When he told me what he really wanted, it was so doable. And I went, yeah, because that's not what I want. What you want and what I want are not the same things. And, this has been a year and a half and a lot of money, not just having a conversation where I'm genuinely asking you, and that's true. And in the end, he got what he wanted, and so did I.
Wow.
Which is incredible.
All right, so do you have a working title for the book?
The working title of the book is $1 Million Divorce. Do you want to ask me why that's the title?
Seems like you have a reason that's the title.
I do have a reason that's the title. It's not the outcome of the divorce, but it's really about how expensive a 3-year divorce process is. And certainly with a lot of mediation and a lot of negotiation and a lot of lawyers involved in a high net worth situation.
Let alone the time and blood money, so to speak. All right, so if people want to know when it comes out, if they want to keep up with you, they want to learn more about you, how do they find you? How do they keep up?
You're going to find me on LinkedIn under Gwen Medved, Instagram, And
Is there more than one Gwen Medved? What's the distinguishing characteristic?
it's
besides?
just at Gwen Medved.
At Gwen Medved.
Yep, you'll see it.
You're amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for being
much.
here.